picked the wrong town to settle, Outlander.
Já si myslím, že tady je to dobrý místo. Za šipku tam dálce. To je jakože, jo. Tady je taková mise s takovými skřítkama malýma. A když jsem to hrál 360, tak se to nějakým pakují. Se to tady můžu rozhodovat.
That they have forgotten. Here do we toil.
You there. You don't seem to be in quite the same state as the others here. Very interesting. May I ask what it is you're doing here? Nearer. It sounds familiar, and yet I can't quite place. Oh, wait, I recall. That makes very little sense. Nearek's been dead for thousands of years. I'm not sure, but it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps it has some relation to what's going on here. Quite unexpected. I'm afraid I can't give you any answers, but there are ruins of an ancient temple of Nearax toward the center of the island. If I were you, I'd look there. There is the big island of Varhamfell, the coastal mainland. House Telvanni has its properties on Varhamfell. I've never been to the mainland myself. You are too young to remember the Nera. He defeated Dagafur and saved us all from the Blight. It's the homeland of the Dunmer. The lesser races call us Dark Elves. We built great works there, like Vivek and Aldrune. Many of them are destroyed now, either by Red Mountain or the Argonian invasion. When the city of Vivek was destroyed, it took decades for us to rebuild. We are still but a shadow of our glorious past, but someday we will rise again. Red Mountain dominates the island. Every now and then, ash and debris from an eruption land on our shores. The ignorant think it is only a place of ash and lava. It has rolling green plains, and swamps, and verdant hills, too. It is the only place where silt striders can be found. Although I managed to transplant a few here when I arrived. Building something, clearly, and yet they don't seem to have much to say about it. I'm very interested to find out what happens when they finish. Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with whatever is going on, and I would be unable to see how this all turns out.
Our hands once were idle.
Now, through
That
them,
seems
to
inadvisable. Oh, fascinating. By touching the stone,
Shall see.
that you have fallen under whatever influence is
and
affecting the
when
others.
the world remembers.
I wonder how long this effect will last. Perhaps it is
That
permanent.
you have forgotten.
That we might remember.
That would be a
Here
shame.
you
You were an
reclaim.
interesting exception to it. Otherwise, so you are able to resist the effect by exerting your will. Fascinating. The Dash from Red
What my
Mountain
day was
holds
stolen.
secrets I mean to uncover. I wonder if a dragon could be captured alive. It would make a fascinating test subject.
He grows ever near
That's
to
that
us.
then.
Our eyes once were blinded.
Now through him do we see.
Our hands once were idle.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our rules. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Reverend Guard. I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it.
My husband Bendel feared visitors would shun Raven Rock. I'm glad to see he was mistaken. Murak. I'm sure I've heard that name before. Haven't I? Was it in a dream? May your path be free from danger.
You haven't seen Cretius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taking my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Cretius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. You tell Cretius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else. Find my pickaxe yet? Well, it's been a long time since someone from the guilds bothered to make their way out here. So tell me, how's my brother Delvin? Still spending his nights at the Ragged Flagon trying to win Vex's heart? Good to hear. Tam Layabout never even bothers to send his own flesh and blood a letter saying how he's doing. Can you imagine? Anyway, I suppose you're looking for work. Well, I got bad news. This place is drier than a damn bone. Eager to make some coin, eh? That's the spirit. I'll tell you what. The guild's got a problem out here that I've been trying to deal with for years, but haven't been able to handle. Don't look at me like that. I'm all alone out here, with no one to watch my back. And besides, it's really my problem anyway. I caused it. A fellow Breton who went by the name Esmond Tyne showed up on my doorstep about a fortnight ago. He noticed the shadow marks like you did, and I thought he was one of us. That he did, right out from under my nose. Can you believe it? It's my own formula for improved bone mold. Took me years to perfect. Well, before he ran off, he was talking some nonsense about trying to fence goods to the Reeklings at Castle Karstag. I told him he was crazy to even think about talking to those vicious little buggers, but he wouldn't listen. I'd bet a fat purse of coin that he's either dead or hiding out up there. You do that, and I'll make sure you're set up right. You won't be disappointed. No. Wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this. A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Rythe, a very talented armor smith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Skyrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cretius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Skyrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. Of course. You tell Cretius he better give that pickaxe back, or else.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long
Looking
as
for
you
any
abide
potions?
by our
Ingredients? Alchemical
Otherwise,
supplies?
you'll answer to the Red Order.
You already know all that I know. I don't think so. Though it sounds like a name I've heard before. I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean? After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in Skyrim. We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit. It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal. When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled. It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help. Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark. That would be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort. As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades. There's nothing more I can teach you. Careful with those netches. They may look to you and seriously hurt you.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown foods?
I think so, but I can't remember how I know him. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I think so. But the only thing that comes to mind is a shrine near the Earthstone. The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. If you've got something to sell, I'm willing to buy. Why don't we see what kind of deal we can make?
Passar que não se nota, né?
Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
Want to buy anything? Or just laugh at our misfortunes? I think I maybe had a dream about someone with that name. It was very strange. Was I building something? A shrine down on the beach near the Earthstone? I'm not sure. The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I haven't. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. Biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Ah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock, and when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point, a kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be around. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheimu, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone unturned.
If you're looking for the East Empire Company, they've been gone for over 100 years. Try Windhelm.
Mi rapporti tutto ha senso.
They serve the best sujama I've ever tasted over the Gretchen neck. Citizen.
Can I help you?
Anything you can contribute to Raven Rock will be greatly appreciated. On behalf of House Redorin and as Counselor of Raven Rock. Do I? What a strange thing.
How much longer do you
It sounds so familiar, and yet I cannot place the name. I'm not even sure. I can picture a temple here on Solstheimu. Must have been a bad dream.
Am I to suddenly turn my back?
I'm sorry, my love.
Solstheim is theoretically under my rule, but without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway.
All we can do is
well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skarl village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and Reeklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this. It used to be one of the richest ebony mines in Morrowind, but it dried out years ago. Now, we're barely holding out here. Without the mine, Raven Rock doesn't feel like it can last much longer. You've never heard of House Redorin? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the Council, the ruling body of Morrowind. This isn't Skyrim, Outlander. A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Indoril, Sadras, and Redorin. Well, of course, with 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory. Yes, I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library.
It's this island. It's never felt the same since we...
My doors are open if you wish to discuss matters involving Raven Rock.
Every Dunmer left a piece of themselves behind when they departed our homeland. All we can do is make the most of what we have.
As the wife to the second Councillor of Raven Rock, it would be my pleasure to help you any way that I can. You look able to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was... Why does that sound so familiar? There's no one here by that name, and yet I swear I've heard it. I don't know. It almost feels like a dream. Something about a temple on the island. Adril Arano, second Councillor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here. I assure you, if I could convince Adril to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adril and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings. I'm the wife of a second Councillor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Adril no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Adril and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redorin has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheimu. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Died, he told the Redoran guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
Don't let the states of Raven Rock fool you. Our desire for Raven Rock's return to its former glory is as strong as the bulwark itself.
Tady útulný. Zřejmě to pořád teplo.
This is House Redoran territory. You do well to remember that. Obey our laws, or suffer the consequences.
Are you here to pray, or perhaps pay your respects at our ancestral tomb? There where we inter our dead. They are sacred places, meant to honor their passing. Sadly, we've been unable to use the ancestral tomb beneath the temple as of late, and have resorted to other locations to scatter the remains. Those foul vermin, the abominations we call ash spawn, have risen from the ashes of our own ancestors. They're befouling the memories of our forefathers by defiling their remains. Thank you, Wanderer. That would be most kind. Here, this key should open the door to the tomb. Sounds like something from a dream, and yet it might be more strange. I remember a temple on Solstheimu, and working to build something. It was not a pleasant dream. The Dunmer race doesn't bury their dead, or leave them to rot inside a stone sarcophagus. When a Dunmer passes, his body is given to fire, so he might return to the ash from whence he came. The Dunmer don't believe that death is the end. We believe that it's the beginning. The Dunmer don't believe that death... The reclamations are the true tribunal. The Daedra that consecrate the Dunmer people. Azura, Methala, and Boethia. We call them the true tribunal because they have reclaimed their place in our hearts from the false tribunal that came before. Sotha Sil, Amalexia, and Vivek represent what was. Beings who won the Dunmer people's hearts with their actions, but blinded them just the same. They were aberrations, false prophets. They used their status as heroes to shield the true tribunal from our minds. But now that they've been destroyed, the light can finally shine upon the House of Reclamations. Be cautious, friend. The Ash Spawn are soulless beings with no regard for compassion.
No, tohle je žádný problém. Aspoň doufám.
Excuse me, but the temple is for followers of our faith alone. Outsiders aren't welcome here. Elder Arthroloth is grooming me to be his eventual replacement. Soon I'll be running the temple my way. Mirag. It sounds very familiar. Not someone here, but I'm not sure I can recall. I can't be sure. I know I've heard that name, but it doesn't feel real. Does that make any sense? Non-believers are never welcome here. If aid is our... The citizens of Raven Rock need to open their eyes and their pockets. Attendant, why has the door to the lower level been locked? Locked? Are you certain, Elder? Of course, I'm certain. I wished to bless the tombs with the monthly invocation, but I couldn't get the door to open. I'm certain it's only stock, Elder. I'll speak to Glover Mallory and see if he can take a look at it.
Vezmu do svý knihovny. Mistrat. Co budeme být v plavci? malíř. To je rozdíl mezi žoltem a smrtí. Tady vypadá se na to smrt, ale bohužel. Jdeme na to kam. Tady je, to není možné. se rozcvičil trochu. Fakt, že žijeme se teda jako pořádný prachy, vole. Takže tohle jako bylo ostrý teda. Kolik je vstávat?
I am Arthroloth, Elder of the Reclamations and Keeper of this temple. Spirits be praised. I'm hoping you didn't suffer much at the hands of those foul beings. Please, accept this as a token of my thanks. May Azura, Mafala, and Boethia guide you.
I said to leave me be.
Cretius, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death. I'm not spending the rest of my days as a widow.
And I'm telling you that I'll do whatever it takes to find my great-grandfather's remains. He's down here. I can feel it.
That was almost 2 centuries ago. There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Cretius, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed. My apologies for Cretius's ravings.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Ask most of the folks around here and they'd agree with you. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine. Gratian Kyrelius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel, and he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago. The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall, but I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Now you're starting to sound like everyone else. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company is keeping from all of us. Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. Look, I know I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gratian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that. She thinks that old age is out of my mind, that I'm seeing things when there's nothing to be seen. I realize she cares about me, but she has to understand that I can't rest until I find out what happened to Gratian. Then I'll settle down peacefully and never set foot in this mine again. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, even before I discovered Gratian's old things. I just hope both of you don't mistake my enthusiasm for insanity. I recognize the name, but I don't know how I know it. It sounds so familiar. It's so strange. I feel like it's from a dream. Something about the Earthstone and a shrine. That's it. That's all I can think of. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skald in the first place. very well. Here, tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. Be careful down there. The mine can be...
Why you're leading Cretius on, I'll never understand. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was... There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Poor Cretius is aging, and I believe it's addled his mind. As the years have passed, it's gotten worse. He's become obsessed with his theories of conspiracy. I'm sure he's down there somewhere, buried under a mountain of rubble like the East Empire Company claims. My greatest fear is that my stubborn mule of a husband will end up suffering the same fate. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know. My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does, but I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gratian in a rocky grave. To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Councillor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. I think so, but from where? I can't recall. It's difficult. Something about it doesn't feel right. A temple here on the island. That's all I can recall. Be careful out there.
Try the lower sections of the mine. I've never been able to get that far.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by. It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island. That's not someone who lives in Raven Rock, I don't think. But it sounds so familiar. Maybe. I can't help but think of some sort of temple on the island. Why would that be? And don't stay away for too long. Get away from me.
Glover Mallory's the name. If you're looking for a smith, you found one of the best. You tell... Either you're here to get... So, you finally tracked down old Cretius, eh? Quite a character, isn't he? Tell you what, since you went through all the trouble of finding it for me and all, you keep it. I just wanted to remind that codger you can't just go around taking things from other people. Now that you've delivered the message, I'm satisfied. Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any good in years. Maybe you can put it to good use. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
Why you're leading Cretius on, I'll never understand.
Try the lower sections of the marsh. I've never been able to get that far.
Už tady vyčuju. Skryně ledovcový pamuk, to mě teda zajímá. Kde je to vůbec ten můj parťák, vole, který se mnou všude chodil? Jsem ho nikdy nechcípnul náhodou. Super. Ale zase zapomněl se tady ukládat, že to tady jde kartu. to se prdel. Tak to nedám, ty vole. Jako sorry, ale na tohle ještě nemám. Na tohle fakt nemám. Nemám žádný kompanion ani nic. Takže jako, když si jako seženu, to za první. Za druhý. Potřebuji lepší armor. Za třetí. Tohle musím počkat. Viděl jsem tam spoustu hezkých věcí, takže to nebude, ale není to 100% zadarmo. Kámo, buď já jsi tam nešel, ty jsi mongol.
I'd be on the first ship off this. As long as you keep bringing them, I'll keep buying them.
Good.
If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine...
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place. Don't like it. I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that? Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone. We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible.
For anything from my stand today?
Keep yourself safe.
Ash, yeah.
Solstheimu's still a dangerous place.
I'd rather eat cheese
My
if it's sitting
husband
in the sun.
visitors with shots.
Look, I know why you're here. I'll get the coin, I promise.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
Always nice to speak to someone from the mainland.
This island's
Rookwood
nothing
doesn't
but a
lend
pile of
coin
rubble.
to outlanders.
What's the point?
Look somewhere else.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll... No, wait. I recognize the name, but I'm not sure why. Until next time.
It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island.
Haven't you got something better to do?
trošku pravdě.
I got those fresh wood.
Don't you say that so the entire town can hear you, idiot. Just give them to me and put it on my account.
About your account, it's been a few months.
I said to put it on my account, and that's the end of it, understand?
Thanks. I wasn't sure I'd make it off this farm alive. I wish I could have said the same for my man here. Some of the Redoran Guard have taken to calling them Ashspawn. Me, I don't care what they're called. All I know is they're a danger to Raven Rock and they need to be stopped. I was going to search for clues that might lead me to wherever they're coming from. I know it isn't the best place to start, but we know they've been coming from this direction. Good. I can use all the help I can get. Besides, I don't feel comfortable leaving Raven Rock behind. And I'd hate to lose any more Redoran Guard. We were searching the farm when the Ashspawn ambushed us. Have a look around and see if you can turn up anything useful. No one knows, really. Superstitious folks say they're the risen forms of those that died long ago. But I'm not so certain. They started attacking the bulwark a few weeks ago. My men were able to kill them, but they keep coming back. We've had 2 other assaults on the bulwark, at different spots on the wall. I know it sounds crazy, but it's almost like they're becoming more organized and probing it for weaknesses. Exactly. Something has to be directing them against us, and we need to find out who or what it is. I don't. All I know is that the Ashspawn are coming from this direction, so this is as good a place to start as anywhere else. Good thing the farm's been abandoned for a long time. I'd hate to see what they would do to an unarmed farmer and his family. Not sure. I was told it was an old Imperial farm that was wiped out by the eruption of the Red Mountain. Not certain who lived there. It was already a pile of rubble when I arrived in Raven Rock. I might know someone, or maybe not. I can't remember. I can't. I just can't be sure. I think maybe he had something to do with a temple. A temple here on the island. Does that help? Report back to me if you discover anything unusual.
Počkej, tady dobrý, no, to neříkám nic.
Found something. This is strange. The note says it's from General Fox Carius, but that's impossible. Well, Carius was the Imperial garrison commander at Fort Frostmourne, but he died over 200 years ago when the Red Mountain leveled the place. There's no way he could still be alive. If General Carius is still alive, there must be something keeping him that way. I need you to head out to Fort Frostmourne and check it out. I'm gonna head back to Raven Rock and prepare the men for further assaults. Be careful. This General Carius sounds out of his mind. Modin Veleth, Captain of the Redoran Guard, at your service.
Italská. Co mám? Možná, že by se lepší něco viděl, to bylo lepší. Sušená blka solí. Mňamka. Moje knihovnička by se pomalu zaplňuje. Easy. Nice. No, už to tady je.
Ah!
Listen to this one. My nights have been impossible to bear without you. I beg you, please depart that blasted isle and return to solitude at once.
No more. What a fool.
Do you think he's the one we left in the tunnel?
Who cares? Nords all look the same to me.
Wait. Did you hear that? Sounds like those ash spawn are back.
Well, at least if the other Nord returns, they'll take care of him.
Someone there.
Time to go!
Tenemos trofeo aquí today.
Listen to this one. My nights have been impossible to bear without you. I beg you, please depart that blasted isle and return to solitude at once.
No more. What a fool.
Do you think he's the one we left in the tunnel?
Who cares? Nords all look the same to me.
Wait. Did you hear that? Sounds like those ash spawn are back.
Listen to this one. Impossible there. I beg you. Please, God, blast it. Return to solitude as well. I'm gonna bleed.
A moc velký damage na to, jak je rychle. No, skvělý to, protože oni ví, ne, to je super, jo, a to se teď. Můžeme. No, jo, co mě?
Never should have come here.
Kdo?
can't be. You took its very soul.
It's really dead then?
If you've got any gripes, check in at Morvain Manor. Second Counselor Arano will sort you out.
Ніколи не знаю.
Glover Mallory is a wonder with a hammer and anvil. He mended my armor like an old pro.
Krasstavte tady,
We've got our eyes on you.
Tak to jste asi pěkně slepý.
Make way.
Prosím.
Counselor Morvain is the only reason Raven Rock has survived all these years.
I work for Mogrul. You got a problem, you talk to him.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Welcome to the Retching-Net's Corner Club, my lord. If you need anything, Master Gelders.
Mogrul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere else.
Captain Veleth would never allow anything to happen to us.
Perhaps that's reassuring enough for you, but it's something that still keeps me awake at night.
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place.
Vendel Severin. A pleasure to meet you, Sario.
This island's nothing but a pile of rubble.
Pleasant journey.
What's the point trying to make a life here?
How much do I owe you this time?
Tell you what, if you use them to make your due, you can have them for free.
It's a deal. Gelders may be a tough boss, but I can put up with it. Keeps a roof over me head.
Teldrin Sero, blade for hire. If you have the coin, I'm at your service. The best swordsman in all Morrowind is at your service. Then let's be off. Long story, but I don't see the harm in sharing it with you. My last patron was a true Nord. He was dressed in animal skins, had tattoos on his face. A real traditional type, if you know what I mean. He had an insatiable bloodlust and was extremely stubborn. One of the toughest employers I've ever had. Simple. He paid well. Very well. Anyway, we'd just cleared a ruined fort somewhere outside of Whiterun, and when we got outside, we saw one of them galloping away on horseback. Well, my boss wasn't about to let him get away, so we pursued. On foot. For 3 days. Until we ended up tracking him to one of the largest bandit encampments I'd ever seen. My patron took one look at me and made the most menacing grin I'd ever seen. At that moment, I knew I'd never see him again. No amount of money would ever be worth that kind of death. If it'll help us get moving quicker, sure.
Tot nyelem. Emlékszem az egyesztanek.
Lead on.
I work for Mogul. You got a problem, you talk to him.
Anytime you want to head for Skyrim, I'm right with you. I've spent enough time on Solstheimu to last a lifetime.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
Yeah.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any
Want to buy anything? Or absolutely. Here's your payment. If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
Glover Mallory's the name. If you're looking for a smith, you found one of the best.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by
As
our
the wife
laws.
to the second counselor
Otherwise,
of
you'll
Raven
answer
Rock.
Welcome to
It
the
would be
Wretched
my
Net's
pleasure
Corner
any
Club,
way that I
home
can.
of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips. There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sioux jammer in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a net floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at Finetch, yells, "Have a drink," and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on Finetch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that Netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. The finest sujama to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujama. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujama and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Hope we don't run into too many ash spawn out here.
The ash spawn attacks on the bulwark are getting worse. Captain Veleth is trying his best, but I think the Redarin Guard are overwhelmed. The Redarin Guard have spotted a pack of werewolves in the mountains. The hunters up on Frostmoon Crag might know more. The ash spawn attacks on the bulwark are getting worse. With the mine shut down, there's no telling how much longer Raven Rock's going to last. Hopefully, Councillor Morvain has a plan. If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis up at Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. The ash spawn attacks on the... With the mine shut down. With the mine shut down. The ash spawn attacks on... Haven't heard anything lately. But check back with me. You never know. Safe travels, Outlander.
As the wife to the second Councillor of Raven, you aren't here with bad news regarding my husband, are you? I couldn't bear it. You have? You have no idea what this means to me, to my family. Reclamations, bless you. Well, you've certainly proven your worth around here to me. Please, accept this gift as a token of my appreciation. Oh, how kind. Thank Gelders for me, won't you? Good journey, Trup.
Nepřekonatelná členka, tak to jsem zvědav, jak bude překonatelná.
Glover Mallet. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. Bring your weapons and armor to me.
It's been a long time since I walked the ashlands of Vardenfell. I miss it terribly.
You're... what? Oh, no, thank you.
Good
I need to keep my head clear.
Welcome to... Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry, stop by.
We are watching you.
I always have plenty of food for sale.
Welcome to the Retching Netch, Outlander. What can I get you?
Either you're here to get showered
Want to
in
buy...
sparks,
Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
Steel, dwarven, ebony. If it's broken, I can mend it.
What's our next move?
Lead on.
If you're dealing with me, there's only one thing to remember. Take that swill and pour it down a well.
Fight well.
I work for Mogul. You got a problem, you talk
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, me lord. If you need it, Sorry. Gildas won't allow me to drink while I'm working at Vinetch.
I'm not sure why House Red insisted on maintaining Solstheimu. Seems like more trouble than it's worth.
I've sworn to keep Councillor Morvain safe, and I intend to take that oath to the grave if need be.
Last time I rode Jalen's ship, I was heaving my guts for a week. Dunmer weren't meant to ride on.
The Master calls.
He draws near.
Draws near.
Tommy.
He draws near.
Aproxima-se a grabă.
I am his hands.
Citizen. Anytime you want to head for Skyrim, I'm right with you. I've spent enough time on Solstheimu to last a lifetime. If you're looking for passage to Vardenfell, you're out of luck. No ships in...
Glover Mallory's the name. The finest weapons and armor. Bring your weapons and armor to me.
What's our next move?
Fix it up right.
If it'll help us get moving quicker, sure. Lead on.
Either you're here to get shot. Take a look.
Píťu, kopím to kámo, ale budeš hodnej, vole.
Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
If it'll help us get moving quicker, sure.
Right behind you.
Steel, dwarven, ebony. A lot of folks around here look the finest weapons and armor.
Wow. To chci.
Bring your weapons and armor to
What's
me.
our next
I'll
move?
fix it up
If
right.
it'll help us get moving quicker, sure. Lead on.
Huh?
Hope we don't run into too many ash spawn out here. You can go, please. But I'd say stay inside the hole.
Tady se zase nemůžu nikde ubytovat, ne? No jako. Můžu se tím bydlet tady.
Fail! Damn bandits are worse than the vermin that infest the ash wastes back home.
uklidím jenom. Už se tady zavedli. Zas pozbavím těch mrtvol. Tak příště zase.